Can you really make an art piece every day for a whole month? Well, I'm challenging myself to this very idea every single day for the month of October. And on top of making an art piece every day, I'm also putting together a video of the whole process. I'll be using the Peachtober art prompt list. And I'll also be adding some extra challenges along the way. Some of these challenges will include monochromatic mode and left hand freaky, where I have to use my left hand for the entire process of a piece. Every piece will be inspired by the grocery store. It's something that I've loved since childhood, and it still inspires me today. It's going to be a big month, full of twists and turns and unexpecteds around every corner. And I'm pretty excited, but also terrified at the same time. So with that, let's get into the video. Howdy hey, and welcome to day 4 of Peachtober. I'm Kit Kat, and today's prompt is gingham. I think I said it right. And it's time for card attack time. So what is card attack time? Well, let me tell you, card attack time is when we pick our extra challenge for the day on top of making an art piece every single day for Peachtober. And so with that, let's pick our challenge. This one is literally perfect. I did not plan this. This is crazy. So, today's challenge is, these are a few of my favorite things. This challenge involves incorporating my favorite things into the art piece, but genuinely, when you see today's sketch and the concept, you're gonna be like, are you sure you didn't plan this? Like, I literally did not. You just saw, I just picked it. I had no idea what I was gonna pick today. This is too perfect. So, this is my sketch for today. And I'll go more into my idea later on in the video. But before we get into the art piece, this is the color palette I'm going to be using. And with that, let's get designing. And welcome back to another voiceover Kit Kat moment. This was my sketch. Before I even got into making the piece, I had gotten home from work and I was super hungry, so I got a little bit distracted eating some snacks and low-key watching a YouTube video. Then I actually got to work on the piece. Thank goodness. I think one of the biggest issues that I'm probably going to struggle with the whole time is just good time management. It's something that can be hard for me, especially if I'm coming home from work and the last thing I really want to do is film the video / make the art / edit the video. It's a lot. And I definitely fall into the trap of bad time management. So I've really had to work on that starting this whole Peachtober process because I really don't have time to just sit around. LOL. Just wanted to be a little bit honest. I think maybe other artists can relate with just not always the best time management. But anyways, so with this piece, I wanted to do a refrigerator. In my original sketch, I was planning to put the gingham on the refrigerator. I ultimately, as you can see, decided to put the gingham as the background to the piece rather than on the refrigerator, which when you see the final piece, I think it works a lot better as the background rather than on the refrigerator. And then the refrigerator kind of gets to be like the center of attention. So I think it worked out pretty well in the end. I also, LOL, I had to look up what gingham looked like because I can't believe I forgot what it looked like, but I had to look it up because I couldn't remember. So that's funny. Basically though, what gingham is, there's like these squares where I'm filling them right now with like the bold blue or any color of your choosing with this pattern. And then there's like the squares surrounding it, which you'll see in a second, that are a lighter version usually of the color. And then the center square of all of it is white. That is what the pattern looked like when I did my research. So that is how I did gingham in this piece. And bada bing, bada boom, gingham is a part of it. Check that off the list. I did that for Peachtober. Anyways, So a little bit about the piece as we go into it a little bit more. Something that's been great about the challenge is I sketched out my ideas right at the beginning of when the Peachtober list came out, but I wasn't exactly sure how it was all going to play out with the challenges, so I do feel like I very loosely sketched things and realized that the challenge might add to a piece. And I think this piece is a really perfect example of the challenge actually adding to the piece and giving me new, fresh ideas that I didn't have when I originally sketched out my ideas for the piece. As you'll see later on, I had to add my favorite things to this piece, and it worked out really well because I love the grocery store. A lot of my art recently has been very focused on the grocery store. So what I decided to do was, first and foremost, the colors I used in this piece are my favorite colors and my favorite color combination, which, if you didn't know, it's the primary colors. I love red, yellow, and blue together. I love yellow. I'm pretty sure I talked about that in the last video. I am obsessed with yellow. I've been obsessed with yellow since middle school when I got a pair of yellow Converse. Maybe it was high school. I'm not exactly sure. But somewhere in the timeline, I got a pair of yellow Converse. I used to have so many different yellow themed outfits. I loved the color yellow. Then I kind of calmed it down, fell in love with some other colors along the way, but I still always go back to one of my favorite color combinations being the primary colors. I just think it looks really cool together, and especially for this piece, the fridge has this like vintage retro vibe, which I kind of was trying to go for that because in my head, I've always dreamed of having a yellow vintage fridge. That will probably never happen, but I kind of made my dream fridge for this piece. Inside the fridge, I included some of my favorite groceries / some of my favorite foods to have in general to also go on theme with adding my favorite things to the piece. So the things that I added were milk, whole milk, of course. I'm a whole milk girly through thick and thin. Unless I find out that I am somehow allergic to milk, I will try to drink whole milk or something of that form for the rest of my days. I just love cow's milk, and I love it in my coffee. It's so good. I've tried the other milks. I tried to be an oat milk girly. I don't like oat milk. And I'm saying it here, and I'm saying it right now. I don't like oat milk, and almond milk is even worse. I really, really don't like almond milk. And also to the people who like non-fat, I don't like non-fat milk. I work in coffee, and every time I see the non-fat milk, it just looks rather gross and so unappetizing, and the color of the lattes looks so weird with non-fat milk. Like, it doesn't look right at all. And so yeah, whole milk for the win. I included that in the piece. I also included cheese in the piece. I love cheese. Who doesn't love cheese? I feel like everything I included was like dairy related anyway, but I love a good cheese. My favorite cheese, I have found out, is this cheese that's in the Netherlands called Kamenikas. It's so good. My husband introduced it to me, and it's got like a cumin flavor. It has like actual cumin in it, and it's so good. Which, speaking of which, when I have Kamenikas, one of my favorite things to put it in is eggs, which is another thing I included in my piece. I love eggs. I love a good scrambled egg on sourdough bread, especially if you include an avocado, pickled red onions, and everything bagel seasoning. I could eat that every day. I probably shouldn't eat it every day, but I could eat it every day. It is so delicious. I also put another fave, pickles, in this piece. Many of you who have been following me for a while might actually know I love pickles, and even designed a hat with a pickle jar on it, so pickles had to be in the fridge. I included leftover soup, which I know is so random, but I'm telling you, we always have leftover soup in our fridge. I make soup all the time for dinner, 10 out of 10 recommend. If you like soup, it's such a great meal option. It makes so many leftovers, which I love. And so then I don't always have to cook every day because I make something that I can just continually use as leftovers. So I put that in my fridge because that's a regular thing that's in my fridge all the time. Leftover soup. We love it. Our personal fave is lasagna soup. I love it. It's so good. Also, another great soup, zuppa toscana. It's an Italian soup. Really anything that has potatoes and cream and Italian seasoning. Ugh. Delicious. Anyway, that's my rant on soup. Actually, real quick with soup. In general, movies that include soup are just the best. Like Ratatouille, the scene where he makes the soup. Like, I feel that way every time I make soup. I'm like a little rat running around the bowl and throwing all the seasonings in and just having the absolute time of my life as I make the soup. So that's my tangent on soup now. Okay, moving on to the next thing that I included in the piece. I put a bottle of mustard. Unironic, but maybe ironic, I do not like ketchup at all. I will actually not even eat fries that have touched ketchup. If somebody put ketchup in the basket with the fries, it feels like a crime to me, and I will not touch them. I will do all the fries that surround the ketchup that didn't touch the ketchup, but if it touched the ketchup, don't even dare hand me the fry. Like, I don't like ketchup. But what I love as a condiment is mustard. And also, I love the color. It's yellow. It's perfect. I also, one time as a child, got to dress up as mustard with my dad, which was really cool. I'm including a photo because I think it's really cute. Anyway, another thing I included is fruit. It's in a drawer at the bottom of the fridge, but genuinely, fruit is pretty good. I will say, I don't love every fruit, but I love a good apple. An apple with a peanut butter. Oh, delish. And my other favorite fruit, strawberries. I also love blackberries. I didn't include that in the piece. I realize that now. And I totally should have because I love blackberries. One time I was at my cousin's wedding and it was like one of the first weddings I really consciously remember going to. And they had like the appetizers out, but like it was one of my first times at a wedding. So I didn't really know how the food stuff worked. And so I may or may not have had like 40 plus blackberries because that was one of the appetizers, because I was like, well, this is dinner and I don't know if I like all the other options, so I'll just eat a ton of blackberries. And then I'm like stuffing blackberries in my face, and then like probably like on the last blackberry, somebody comes out and goes, dinner is served and you can move to the banquet hall. And I'm like, oh goodness, I hope I have room. I still love blackberries, even though I ate a ton growing up, and they're still definitely my favorite fruit. I really don't know why I didn't include them. But all of that to say, I did include strawberries, and in general, I love every form of berry. Berries are just the ultimate best fruit, in my opinion. If you just give me a whole bowl of strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, all the berries, man, I'm a happy woman. I love a good berry. But those are all the foods that I included in my fridge. I'm sure I could have included way more, but I didn't want to get too detailed because back to the beginning of this video, time management, I don't have forever to work on the piece. And so that is how we keep our time, by not always spending forever on a piece and letting go of the perfectionism of it. Anyway, I wanted to go for a vintage feel in both the fridge and just the colors and the overall vibe of this piece, and I really like how it turned out. I look at it and it just makes me think about A, McDonald's, LOL, anyone else, B, the 1950s, like just written all over it. But that was what I was going for, so definitely got the vibe going for what I wanted it to be. But that was the process of making this piece. And now I'm going to show you how it finally turned out. So you made it to the end of the video. Welcome. And you're probably thinking, this is when you show me the final piece, right? And you would be correct. This is when I'm going to show you the final piece. So here it is. I love how it turned out. I had so much fun making it, and I loved the challenge for today. It literally worked so perfectly. I'm so grateful because every day I pick a challenge, I get terrified. I'm going to pick the one where I have to use my left hand, and I have yet to pick it. So we'll see when that happens, but it wasn't today, and I am grateful. Before we go, I am making a video every single day for Peachtober. So if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Please stay and comment below what you thought of the final design. And also, I am posting all of the art onto my Instagram and my TikTok, so you can also go check out the art there. But with that, I will now catch you on the flippity flop and see you tomorrow for another day of Peachtober. Bye!